Game day's here, I can hear the crowd. Turn on the lights, fans are cranked up and loud. Red or blue, we wear it proud. Yeah, we love our teams in this border town. Chiefs and Royals, Blue Mizzou, Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, KU. Hear that drum pounding in your feet. Yeah, you're marching to the beat of KC.
What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? What is going on, Jayhawk Nation? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the beat of KC. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lucas Murphy, and I'm absolutely ecstatic. Baseball is back, ladies and gentlemen. We were able to kick off college baseball with a series started Friday. And ladies and gentlemen, I had to absolutely bust out the pinwheel hat and the jersey hoodie because I'm just excited to talk about Kansas baseball. Now, we're really going to jump in and talk about this three-game series. We're going to break it up and really talk about some bats that were really hot in this series. We're also going to talk about some starting pitching as well as some bullpen pieces that really kind of flashed the ability to come out of the pen and just dominate. I'm excited, and we're going to talk about Coach Fitzgerald and what he had to say at the end to really recap this series. Now, the Kansas Jayhawks baseball opened their season on Friday night, and they would finish Sunday afternoon, and they would win a gritty 2-1 series over the UTRGV Vaqueros baseball team. And while it wasn't a perfect weekend, it was revealing. And we're going to dive in and talk about that specifically. There was a wide range of position players and pitchers that made early statements as Kansas navigated really a hostile road environment and found a way to win the series. Now, the bats showed up when they needed to, and I think that's significant. They weren't extremely hot the entire weekend, but there were some key players that really stepped up in a massive way, and we're going to talk about those exactly. Jordan Bach, ladies and gentlemen, set the absolute standard this weekend. He flat out raked. The veteran went 7 for 12, piling up 11 total bases, including a double and a home run. He also drew a walk and drove in 3 RBIs through the opening series. Bach is slashing a scorching 583, 600, and 917 slash line, immediately establishing himself as a tone setter in the lineup. His ability to barrel baseballs consistently gave Kansas stability every time he stepped into the box. Now, obviously, the next guy we're going to talk about is Cade Baldridge. Extra base impact. Cade Baldridge provided serious stump as well, going 5 for 12 with 3 extra base hits and 10 total bases, including a home run as well. He's currently hitting .417 with an 833 slugging percentage and a .462 OBP. Baldridge's ability to stretch hits and change the scoreboard with one swing made him a difference maker throughout the weekend. Now, to wrap up the 3 hitters that I'm really talking about is the preseason All-American, Mr. Clutch Gene activated himself. Brady Bollinger showed why he carries the national recognition. His average sits at .333. Bollinger delivered in leverage moments, and I think that's a big key. Leading the team with 5 RBIs this early in the season, his early slash line of .333, .333, and .417 doesn't fully capture his impact. His production came when Kansas needed it the most. As a team, the Jayhawks hit .284 with a .471 slugging percentage and a .368 OBP, numbers that reflect both power and really timely execution. But at the same time, there is a lot of room for improvement. You know, I specifically thinking about in the Friday game, I really felt like the top 3 to 4 guys were really your impactful guys, and everyone else kind of struggled on the box score. And so they really are going to have to get an all-around team effort as this season starts to progress. I understand this is the first series. There's a lot of kind of things to shake out. Coaches trying to figure out good lineups, good players to put out in certain positions. There's a lot of things that a lot of college teams really figure out in their first few series. So there's a lot of learning opportunity to go on here. Now, the starting rotation, and I think there were flashes and there were also lessons learned. And I think coming into the weekend, I was really excited to see how the starting pitching would do. I really felt like they had the upper hand, and it could potentially be a strength that they had. The results were kind of mixed, and I was really expecting going into Friday night a pure absolute domination from Dominic Vagley. our ace. He was electric at times, but he was erratic. Ace Dominic Vagley had electric stuff, but struggled with command, like we stated on Friday night. He lasted just 3 innings, allowing 5 earned runs on 3 hits. And really the glaring thing was the 4 walks. And I think, however, he did strike out 8 batters, which really showed that swing and miss stuff, that arsenal that he's been working on, is very real. It's just, can he continue to tighten up the command? And the upside is absolutely enormous. And we know that. We've seen the highs of what Dominic Vagley can absolutely provide this staff. And then we've also seen where he struggled at times. We really are going to need him to lock in and consistently show why he was really picked and coined the ace of the staff. Now, one of the guys I was truthfully excited to watch, and that was Mattis Nayrol. He really reset the tone for this series. He went out there and delivered exactly what the staff needed in Game 2, that resurgence. He dominated across 7 innings, surrendering just 2 hits, 1 earned run, and he struck out 4 guys. Nayrol's performance stabilized the series and allowed Kansas to even things up. He was really consistently sitting like 94. I think he touched 95 a few times. He really was effective on the bump, and that's really what allowed Kansas to kind of create some momentum and really get on the board with their offense. And again, he pitched 7 innings, so he was able to kind of just go out there and do his thing. He didn't have to rely on the bullpen to just eat up a ton of innings. He gave those guys kind of a break early on. Now, the next guy, and again, this is a learning curve. And the reason is because Madden Seidel, he's a freshman. The Emporia Kansas native, made his debut, and honestly, it really didn't go as planned. And you expect that from a young freshman, especially it's his first opportunity to really step on the mound in a college setting. There's a lot of pressure that goes into that. And he did only pitch 2 innings. He gave up 4 runs, 3 earned runs. He did walk 3 guys. He did have 3 strikeouts, however, but early season growing pains are expected. Again, for a freshman, I expect that. The bar is set extremely high for him, and I expect him to improve. I think the big thing is just limiting the free passes and really kind of getting deep into the game is really what we want to start seeing moving forward. He has a ton of potential, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm excited to see him continue to grow and really become an elite pitcher. In a market that never sleeps, one name rises above the rest. Lisa Miller from Dan Lynch Real Estate, trusted by hundreds and recognized across the Midwest. She delivers results when it matters the most. With over 13 years of experience and licenses in both Kansas and Missouri, Lisa isn't just selling houses. She's helping you find a place to call home. Whether you are a first-time homebuyer, looking to upsize, or selling your current home, Lisa makes the process smooth and stress-free. As a local expert passionate about building lasting relationships, she ensures her clients feel confident and satisfied every step of the way. Don't wait, your perfect home is just a call away. Contact Lisa today at 913-579-3246 or 913-369-3000 or visit lisamillersaleskc.com. But Lisa Miller at Lynch Real Estate help you start your next exciting chapter. And let her know the beat of KC, Lucas Murphy, sent you her way. And so I really want to focus on kind of the back end, and that's the bullpen, ladies and gentlemen. While the rotation had inconsistencies, I think there was more flashes of dominance from the bullpen, and that's really what you want to see as well in college baseball. You want to be able to hand the baseball over to your bullpen and know that guys are going to come in and absolutely lock down. One of the guys that I absolutely enjoyed watching this weekend was Cannon Carr. He tossed 3 2/3 innings. He only allowed 2 walks and struck out 6 batters and really provided critical middle relief stability. Now, the guy that I absolutely was hoping would get into one of these games, and he ended up doing that, and he made an absolute statement, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the 6'7" towering monster, Caleb Deere. And the reason why I've kind of been following him a little bit is because he's from a local community college relatively close to where I'm at in Kansas City, Kansas Community College. He transferred from there to Kansas. He shut the door on Sunday to earn his first save. In one electric inning, he struck out 3 and showed the poise of late inning weapon ability. And that's really the exciting thing is you have multiple guys that really probably are going to get save opportunities this year, But I think Caleb Deere being able to come in, sit 94, have electric stuff, and really get out of a jam shows you that you can rely on him when it matters the most. And head coach Dan Fitzgerald really praised this entire team. We're going to have to hear what head coach Dan Fitzgerald had to say.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, UTRGV, this is a really, really good team. And what an unbelievable environment to play in, and one that we were intentional in scheduling to get atmosphere like this and to get a great challenge early on. And super proud of the guys and how they battled. Tough one on Friday night, and then to come back yesterday and play how we did, and then show up today. And, we delivered the first punch, but we knew they were going to throw another punch. So, it became just a dogfight there, and our bullpen obviously did a fantastic job pulling it together. Some key hits and some key spots. We never really broke that open. Bases loaded, nobody out. Brady hits the really deep fly ball that I swear an inning before, if the wind was blowing like it was, that thing would have been in the parking lot. But we score one there on the sac fly, and then we get the next one on the sac fly as well from Augie. So produce some runs, and then unbelievable job, just literally the entire pen. So from Fink, who passed it to Ritter, who passed it to Ray, and then passed it to Toby, and then Caleb Deere was absolutely electric. And I'm super proud of the entire team, but really proud of how Caleb competed right there.
Now, obviously, there are areas for improvement. And again, I want to just emphasize, this is the first series. There are a ton of things that you have to learn. There are a lot of lessons, and it goes for across the entire college baseball landscape. Guys are not going to be perfect. They're put into situations where they're truly facing an opponent. They're no longer facing their team, where they know the consistencies, they know their tendencies, they know how certain pitches are going to work against guys. You're coming into a series where you haven't faced these guys. It's the first of the year. You got to kind of shake off that winter rust, and it's springtime really for baseball. Especially down in Texas, these guys were getting a little bit warmer weather. They're starting to show what they're capable of doing. For some of these younger guys, a lot of these transfers are getting opportunities to play. And so it's really a good time for them to show what they're capable of doing. But when you look at the overall pitching numbers, there is a ton of improvement. And again, I truly believe it will happen. They currently have a team 5.5 for ERA. They do, however, have a 1.38 whip. But one of the glaring things for me was the 15 walks issued in 26. You can't just give up free bases, ladies and gentlemen. Those free passes, especially in college baseball, can often turn into runs. And I think that's the big thing. As this competition continues to stiffen up, because Coach Fitzgerald really talked about it on one of his Fitz Fridays, is they really picked the schedule to be very competitive. For a few reasons. They want to be able to have credibility when it comes time to really determining who gets into the regional. And I think also it really prepares you, the non-con specifically, a competitive non-con prepares you for a very tough and challenging Big 12. So I think there's a good reason why Coach Fitzgerald talked about scheduling the way he did and who the opponents are. So this team will have to improve vastly. And I do believe they will. I think as you continue to play games, you'll start to see that this team will settle in. You'll start to see guys come around, and they'll start to really connect and hit the baseball, and vice versa. They'll start to pitch at a very high level. So what's next? Kansas continues its 12-day road trip with a midweek matchup against the Lamar Cardinals on Wednesday, February 18th. And that will be before they open a 3-game series starting Friday, and that will be against McNeese State Cowboys baseball. The opening weekend showed depth, it showed power, it showed flashes of dominance on the mound at times. Most importantly, it showed resilience, and I think that's key. The Jayhawks didn't just win a series, they learned who they are early on in this season, and if they clean up some of the command issues, they start to make more, strides in the hitting aspect. I think this team is going to really kind of start to show out, and I think that they will potentially, become ranked at some point in this season. I think they have that capability. We'll just have to see. I think the noise can be made for sure. They just have to really start to connect, and that's the hard thing about college baseball is you really have to do it quickly, and you have to really start to have pretty good runs and pretty good success early on. I appreciate y'all checking out this video. Make sure you guys smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I end every video the exact same way. Have a good day.